like so perplexed, because the same party that screams democracy was the same party that was trying to gaslight me and shame me for not voting the way they want to vote. People are so weird. When I say people are so weird, they only like you when you do what they want them to do at their convenience. Like the moment you start thinking on your own, or the moment that you do something they may disagree with, on both ends of the table, it's almost like, oh, I'm going to put you to shame. It's just like, what? Are you okay? If you don't know who you're voting for, or if you're voting third party, or if you're complaining about the current options that we have right now, then you're entitled. You are entitled. Don't come for the messenger. That's just what the streets are saying. I did an interview with Yahoo News after one of my videos went viral on TikTok. If you haven't watched the video, I'm gonna put it here or here. I am warning you, a disclaimer: if you're sensitive, or if you lack the maturity to understand and comprehend that people have a difference in opinion, I highly suggest you don't watch that video. Just saying. This is the article, and shout out to Kelsey Weekman. She did a fantastic job, in my opinion, in the article. Shut up with Biden. Some left-leaning young voters are turning to third-party candidates in the 2024 election. Just for the context, I specifically have not said who I'm voting for in the 2024 election. I generally do not know who I'm going to vote for. I know who I'm going to vote for down the ballot, but I cannot say confidently or comfortably who I'm going to cast my ballot for when it comes to the President of the United States. Before we get into why it makes you entitled, allegedly, that's what the streets are saying, let's go through this article. Well, President Biden, given the little opposition he's facing, will likely secure the Democratic Party's nomination for president in 2024. Some young left-leaning voters don't want to side with him or the Republican nominee. They're looking for a third-party option. I'm going to be honest, I don't even think it's like younger people. I think it's just a vast majority of Americans who are in that gray area. Something that I'm seeing a consistent pattern in is that a lot of people feel like one side is not listening to them and one side is not including them. Whatever the side may be, that's subjective. That is why that gray area continues to get bigger. A 2023 Pew survey found that 37% of Americans between the ages of 18 and 29 have a negative view of both the Democratic and Republican Party, far more than older generations, and compared with 28% that is. It has been widely reported that they're more politically engaged in older generations, but according to an ABC News report, they are more likely to cast their ballots in favor of issues rather than candidates. That is something that I continue to stress on people over and over and over again. Killer Mike was actually just on The View, and he pretty much said the same thing. He wants people to focus on the policy and not the party. When you focus on the party has a sense of entitlement to your vote. When they feel entitled to your vote, there's that room of moving in comfortability. Though the 2020 election generated record turnout for young people, a 2023 Harvard Kennedy poll found that only 49% of that age group plans to vote in this election at all. According to interviews published this month in Teen Vogue, some members of Gen Z don't want to vote for Biden because they don't agree with his policies. You have to realize, when it comes to Biden and Donald Trump, this is something that I've said previously. A lot of people within the left I can speak about that is pretty much in that gray area. They want to vote left, but they just can't grasp themselves to do so, mainly because they're just not satisfied with what's going on. Y'all know with me, I am probably one of the most unbiased political commentators on social media, and I'm not saying that to boost myself. I'm just being completely honest. I know how to give credit when credit is due. I've said it before, I say it again. Joe Biden, he's done solid things. I'm not gonna act like I don't see the effort. However, when we are looking at presidents, we're not looking for perfection. You have to be able to weigh out the pros and the cons within that individual. And not only that, but you have to be able to differentiate personal from policy. Other left-leaning voters still want to participate in the upcoming election, but plan to support a third-party candidate over Biden. Yahoo News spoke with several third-party voters under the age of 30 about the reasons they're fed up with the two-party options and whom they'd like to see on the ballot instead. I wouldn't say I left being progressive, because there are still things within the Progressive Party that I stand behind, but I guess I'm just more so independent. Now that I'm getting older and seeing certain things things, I can't fully commit to a party anymore. Uduak, which is me, I said, I think the current administration spends more time speaking about how bad the previous administration is rather than implementing any real strategic policies. I also added that how vast majority of left-leaning voters are wanting someone else other than Biden, but the Democratic Party failed to deliver. Now they're scrambling because you did not give the vast majority of the voters what they wanted. People are starting to see that both of the major political parties are from the same tree with different branches. Hello? It's okay to stick with your values when you vote. Don't feel guilty. For me, I sleep so well at night knowing that I don't have to pretend or put up a fake facade that I want certain policies to be implemented, even though it's against my morals and values. Some of these politicians, I generally don't know how you do it. Like, how do you spend 8, 9, 10 plus hours a day fighting for policies you don't even truly believe in within yourself? Like, I couldn't do that. I need a peace of mind. We still have about 7, 8 solid months. Anything can happen within that time frame. Now, let's go through some of these comments from TikTok. I was like so perplexed because the same party that screams democracy was the same party that was trying to gaslight me and shame me for not voting the way they want to vote. People are so weird. When I say people are so weird, they only like you when you do what they want them to do at their convenience. Like the moment you start thinking on your own or the moment that you do something they may disagree with, on both ends of the table, it's almost like, oh, I'm going to put you to shame. It's just like, what? Are you okay? This girl, Ellen, she said, that's okay. You are younger than some of us and you will live with the consequences longer than us. Sweetheart, are we living in the same country? We are already living in the consequences that those who walked in front of us, specifically boomers, if you want to be technical about it, we're living in those consequences. Like the decisions I'm making now has nothing to do with me. I know I want to bring kids into this world one day. I know there are people who are going to walk after me. What I'm doing by not accepting mediocrity or accepting the best of the two evils, fighting for something that's bigger than myself. I never want to have kids and teach my daughters or teach my son to accept mediocrity. You lose power in that. If you have to sacrifice yourself, then you have to sacrifice. Like, I'm not thinking about me. I'm not selfish like that. Ender Ninja the Third said, you're not looking at the bigger picture. Actually, I am looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that the Democratic Party has had the black vote since 1936. 1936. And still to this day, the black community is not satisfied with how they are being treated. Me personally, I know change does not come in comfortability. I know, like, this is not comfortable. I've always had a comfort zone within the Democratic Party. I was raised left, for goodness sake. However, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If what we've been doing is not working, maybe that's a sign that we need to go towards the middle, work with both sides at that, and have them fight for our vote rather than just handing it out. Maybe it's a sign that we need to prioritize the policy and not the party, because the party does not make the person. This person, Aberreen Thomas, said, the difference for me is democracy. Project 2025 is enough for me to vote Democrat. I have a lot of things to say about Project 2025. If y'all want a separate video about that, comment down below. But I'm going to say this. Project 2025 was created by, I would say, right-wing extremists. Long story short, they essentially said whoever wins president within the Republican nominee, whether it's Donald Trump or whoever, they're going to utilize that person to implement the policies that they want. Project 2025 was not created by any political candidates. Wasn't created by Joe Biden, wasn't created by Donald Trump, to my knowledge at least, wasn't created by Nikki Haley, wasn't created by Robert F. Kennedy. No, it was created by a separate organization in which they are planning to use the Republican nominee to implement those policies. 2, Project 2025, it's hard for me personally to take certain things serious when the people I elect aren't even taking it serious. Name me at least 5 public seat holders that even brought up Project 2025. I only see Project 2025 on social media. When I meet these people, I work with a lot of them, I get to meet them, I ask them, like, some of them don't even know what Project 2025 is. I'm not saying to disregard it, that's not what I'm saying, but what I am saying is that a lot of times people get their information from social media and they swear it's the truth. But when you step outside and when you touch grass and you actually meet people in real life and you work with these people and you see the possibilities of A, B, and C, like Project 2025 is not even being mentioned, for goodness sake. BBJ79 said, I mean, if you think Trump and Biden is the same, you really shouldn't be voting. This is where I say they're similar. The same things that Donald Trump gets backlash for, we don't hold Joe Biden accountable for the same thing. For example, a lot of people say, okay, Donald Trump, he's racist. He's said some ignorant, prejudiced, disdainful comments, for example. Joe Biden has said some things in the past too. Joe Biden, not even past, like within the last 3-4 years, but it's almost like our energy isn't kept the same. When Trump does it, we scold him. But when Biden does it, we sweep it under the rug. Elias HD11 said, this is how we ended up with Trump in the first place. Okay. Me personally, I truly believe if you are that confident in Biden's administration, I'm not telling anybody not to vote for him. All I do is say what I'm going to do. All I do, yeah, my nail's broken, y'all. Like, literally don't even look. Anyways, I don't tell anybody what to do. Like, all I say is what I'm going to do. All I say is my opinions. This is just my opinions. I represent nobody but myself. Period. If my opinions offend you, then you are the problem, sweetheart. Sorry, not sorry. If you're that satisfied with the current administration, what I have to say shouldn't even shake you. I don't think we should be in a position where we're fighting each other because another person disagrees with the other. I'm always going to try to maneuver within love. Like, I don't care how cliche that sounds. I'm not perfect, but I'm always going to try to maneuver with love. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media. Appreciate you all. We're on the road to 10K. I love you all. God bless you, and toodles.